Man, there are plenty of places we could begin, honestly, because I mean, talk about psyop season, brother, right? Feeling surrounded by spooks in every direction you turn. I mean, it truly feels that way. And Jose and I have been really talking about how it essentially feels as if, there's been a concerted effort deliberately to infiltrate and oversaturate the alternative media landscape in more ways than one. And I think that's very much coming to fruition. It's a sort of modern mockingbird technique, I think. And I think also the vast majority of people are under this false impression and misconception that Mockingbird ended, right? And that of course isn't the case. I mean, the CIA set up a liaison office in 1996, of course, to actually like influence Hollywood, but not only that, uh, create out of whole cloth like legitimate television series by writing the plot lines and so like Homeland is a great example because they were clearly read in on as far as you had spooks giving them direct script notes, right? It wasn't just the fact that they had advisors on set and things of that nature. They were going to Langley and they were meeting with people like John Brennan, right? And this is just the fact of the matter when you're talking about the writers and the actors, right?
But
Well,
And
yeah, what
there's
was it like? Claire Danes, is that her name? The
Claire
actress that
Danes,
was on
yeah,
there. She
yeah,
was
yeah,
on Colbert, and she was discussing, and he just shut that down real quick, dude.
absolutely.
Johnny, well, I don't know if we'll get dinged. We're not on anything that can ding us. Can you look up her on Colbert? And she gets shut
I,
down. She's talking about the CIA, how they
Mhm.
worked with the intelligence
Spy
agencies
camp.
on Homeland. And
did,
dude, he shuts it down
did
real quick,
did
dude.
anybody watch the show? It's actually, I mean, the first season's
Yeah, it's
pretty
a great
good.
show.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, I
Yeah,
great
it's
watched
show.
the
good
first. I
because they're
watched the first
working
two
with
seasons.
spooks. Yeah, that's why
Right.
it's good.
What's the
No
most
doubt. But
surprising thing that they've told you about their jobs or something you would need to know from
Well,
the
every
character?
year it's different, right? We've been at
Okay.
it for a while, and the climate has changed. But this year it was all about the distrust between the administration and the intelligence world, and the intelligence community was suddenly kind of allying itself with journalists, which
But wait a
usually
second,
they're
how long
not
ago did you
such
start
good
shooting
friends.
this season? How
Ah,
long?
there we go. See, dude, she just cut that. He just shut
That's
that
fun, dude.
down.
100%.
I,
Yeah,
I
you
will
can.
say at first I didn't think it was that weird until the implications of other people, because the fact that an individual, I think she plays a Fed, right, in
Yeah.
Homeland,
Yeah,
so
Yes,
she works for the
I guess
CIA.
it's
Yeah, and she goes
it's
off the
kind of,
res.
yeah, it's kind of easy to make an argument why you would need to consult with the CIA, but the implication of this does seem like they have like a regular camp that actors
Oh,
go
yeah.
to and not just for CIA glowy roles. So
Well,
yeah,
I
there's a
think
little
it's
bit.
more. I mean, the more interesting is the way Colbert is. I mean, that's what you're
Yes.
talking about,
Absolutely.
Sam, right? The way he shuts her down in
Absolutely.
that moment, right? Yeah.
But it's also the conceptual propaganda aspect of it all because clearly, they're influencing the script to shed positive light on the agency. That's the entire goal. So they want to construct this
Yeah.
sort of narrative within the subconscious mind of the average individual who's the audience member, that CIA good, right? I mean, it's as simple as that, as well as seeding the narrative. Because if you remember the first couple seasons, definitely the first I watched because my sister was like, hitting me up like, you got to watch this. So I watch it, right? I go in and I watch the first season of Homeland, and my instinctual reaction is the CIA was involved with the plot. Like, no way
Yeah.
around it. And it was primarily due to the fact that how they kind of staged the compromised asset, which was this what was he, just a kind of a combat veteran who had come back from serving
Yeah.
overseas and then
Yes.
essentially had been compromised.
Yeah, it was radicalized, right?
Yeah, right. By what? By this Islamic terrorist threat, right? Who has compromised his psychology, and so therefore he's giving these hidden gestures and coded symbols while he's giving a fucking news conference or something, right? A press briefing about how his experience. He was like a hostage or something, wasn't he? I can't
Yeah, he
remember
was
now.
he was held captive by some anonymous, I think. I believe
Terrorist cell.
fictional at the very least. Yeah, terrorist.
Doesn't it
No.
sound like
Oh,
some Matthew Livelsberger bullshit? Doesn't it? This sounds
Yeah, it
like
does.
almost like some
yes.
sort of similar plot, like,
Yeah.
You know what else it sounds like? It sounds like Omar Mateen and the Pulse nightclub network, as far as I'm concerned, especially considering remember, Jose, when Sam brought that up, and I was meaning to actually get to that when you came on Already Dead, because you had recently brought it up when you went on Rogan just before you came on our show. And like instantly, I paused the episode and I went and I looked up what you were talking about, because it was the if I remember right, where did I have it? Yeah, here it is. The New Mexico compound, right?
Yeah.
Where they were training these school shooters. And so I looked that up, right? And what I discovered was that there seemed to be far more deeper connections in regard to the potential, um essentially this is pattern recognition that I'm really talking about, because it fits all it, let's say it shares all the hallmarks, right, of this radical Islamic seminary course that was essentially a radicalization pipeline set up online. And you look at who actually set this up, and it will boggle your mind, because of course this has a direct connection from what you brought up from the New Mexico compound shootings, and that we're training children for school shootings. Okay, I pull this all up. It has a direct connection to Omar Abdul Rahman in the 1993 false flag attacks, yes, right, of the World Trade Center bombing. And so that was a CIA connected operation all day long. You can trace that back.
Yeah.
It's amazing, right? And you can also trace it back to what was it? Shit. It was that consulate that essentially was compromised and was providing all the visas and the passports to Al Qaeda members who were the alleged hijackers on 9/11. And one of the individuals came forward who's working at the Jeddah consulate, and he's like, "Hey, motherfucker, I didn't approve these these visas for these obvious terrorists. I mean, they're clearly compromised individuals." And then the higher up authorities come in and say that the CIA, of course, like you have the CIA authorities who came down from the top, the brass, who said, keep your mouth shut if you know what's good for you, effectively. And of course, he whistle blew and essentially lost his career after the fact. And he wrote an entire book. I remember, because I covered that in the 9/11 episode, that Jeddah consulate connection, because again, it's just like,
It's
man,
so crazy, dude.
Isn't it, brother?
It's so everything is so connected. And like John Brennan, in any other time, he would be seen as a fucking traitor, and he would be brought to the the guillotine, dude. But today he has he's a talking head on MSNBC or CNN. It is unbelievable. The belief that he was Muslim because he was allowed into Mecca, which you're not allowed in unless you are Islamic. Okay. He goes in there, he meets with them. And, again, we had Jay Dyer on, and Jay Dyer basically breaks down that, like, when they talk about the Saudis involved with 9/11, that it is basically British intelligence, which to me is why you see so many American businesses working with the Saudis right now. Like, I know they have money, but if we really hated them, right? If we really hate them the way we hate the Russians, and if like Laura Chen took money from the Saudis, we would still see her gorgeous face making content, right? She is just like disappeared. But because she took Russian Tonight money, which most of us would, because that's a lot of money, and I love what Russian Tonight did. They do great work. Okay.
Russian
Dude, she's
today.
gone. She's gone.
RTU. That's so crazy.